We're talking about androgen hormone. So if you're a woman and you are experiencing either you're noticing more hair growth here, so you're asking me to blade it for you. If you sometimes get a cystic pimple or you're getting a lot of them, you might also be noticing a thinning of hair on the crown, or which would tell us more androgen, but there is another reason why you might thin all over, and it could be associated. And sometimes weight gain in the belly. Now, you mightn't get all of these syndromes or symptoms, but you definitely will get the hair growth and sometimes breakouts. And often the stubborn weight and the crown can all coincide. So let's talk about androgen hormone. So it is an important hormone. It's part of the testosterone family, and when it's in balance and it's exiting the body, all is well. But when it's not, or the cells are very sensitive to it, all is not well. And it's very emotional, obviously, because it attacks a very visual part of our health. So how does this come about? The root cause is complicated because it affects women super differently, and it affects men, but this is really about women because how it affects women is very different to how it affects men, and imbalance is never good. So if with a woman, why she would be seeing hair intensifying here is simple. So if you think of the root cause, that's what's the different part. But generally speaking, high androgens will actually convert into DHT. So that's why sometimes there's a thinning on the scalp here, or can be an even thin, but that also could be related to thyroid, and that could be supporting that as well. And high stresses, because the androgen is made in the adrenal glands and in the ovaries. And sometimes when we're under a lot of stress, the brain is talking to the ovaries, so it's overproducing androgen. And then when we're high stress, if we're an ovulating woman, which means we're still having a monthly bleed, we're actually, when cortisol, that stress hormone, is high, progesterone gets high. So progesterone's not coming through to kind of help balance out all the other hormones, because she's kind of the balancer. So she's low, and now you're getting this, it's called estrogen excess. So in the second half of the cycle, instead of progesterone coming up, estrogen's still high, and we can find that will sort of clog up the liver, and the liver isn't breaking it down efficiently, and that sends it down to the gut, and you might have a poor pathway where it's recycling. So yes, that is interesting. So we're getting more oil in the skin from that as well, because androgens stimulate the oil glands in the skin. And we've got more oil receptors in the beard area. So usually what I'm looking at when I see androgenic acne is they're getting more deeper pimples here. They're getting hair here, and sometimes they're thinning up here. And the last symptom that's quite common is they can start to say, oh, it's really hard, my tummy, I seem to be holding weight there as well, and I can't lose it very easily or at all. It's just super stubborn, because high androgens make you insulin sensitive. So that means that your sugars are sitting outside the cell, so insulin, so it can't get into the cell, and that will cause a lot more growth and excess in the body. So it's a kind of a catch-22. And with that insulin excess, you'll see some women are prone to skin tags, and they'll see growth coming up in these areas as well. And skin tags are 100% associated to insulin resistance. So they actually got way too much insulin in the blood. It's not going to the cell where the body can use that energy. It's sitting outside, and because it's sitting outside, it actually can create growth. Yeah, so good news, you can sort this out and kind of help stop the further ones, and then remove the skin tags that are remaining. Okay, my story. When I was in my 20s, got diagnosed with PCOS, which has now been fantastically renamed to PMOS. So it's poly, which means multiple, metabolic, your metabolism, ovarian syndrome. So it means that there's multiple endocrine tissue that's malfiring. So my story was a little bit sad because they didn't know to go and test my androgens and check out my insulin and all of that. They just said, oh, you've got cysts on your ovaries and we're going to give you a pill to stop you ovulating, being the contraceptive pill. So I was highly sensitive to the hormone, unfortunately, so I had some very strong adverse reactions, migraines, which I don't suffer from normally, but I got a hormonal migraine, which is quite common from having these medications, and also I had extreme nausea. It was so bad. I remember laying on my treatment bed between patients, just like, oh, I don't know how to get through, and it just gave me incredibly strong sugar cravings as well. So not sustainable. So I think it lasted a few days until I figured out that was the cause, and that stopped. But years later, I still didn't know the root cause, and today I do. I know it was because I had been under high stress, working around the world all those years. I was about 26 at the time, and my body was very hard to lose weight. I really burned out my adrenals, so there was a huge problem there. So I had to strengthen my adrenals with the right herbal medicine. I had to move myself to a whole food plant-based diet, have regular breakfast, lunch, small dinner, no snacking between meals, resistance training to make my cells more resistant to the insulin, and bring in some supplements. So really good quality inositol, really good quality zinc, really good quality selenium, really good quality magnesium, the right doses at the right timing, and you can really start changing this whole system around. And then for the adrenals, I had to bring in herbal medicine to help support the adrenal glands so they were nice and robust. And great news, the cystic acne, the hair growth, and the body weight can really change. And then you hit a stage of your life like me, being perimenopause, 35 plus, and your estrogen progesterone needs to be supported more, because when cortisol is high, progesterone gets shy, and that means she kind of is the regulator of hormones. She helps to tell everyone else to get in sort of behave or in balance. So you really have to find ways to bring up progesterone. I've got a video on that. So that's where sometimes wild yam cream and using some herbal medicine and minerals and inositol all can help balance progesterone. And then you want to clear that the imbalance of estrogen out, because she's been high too long, and sometimes we have a poor detoxification pathway to remove it. So that's where sometimes calcium deglutarate, eating a high fiber diet, these things can help clean that extra estrogen out. So blood sugar is something we really have to manage. So I'll do a video on skin tags, which is also associated to high blood sugar, and we'll look at that. And in the next video, we'll look at supplementation and lifestyle to help balance androgen. Hopefully that was helpful. See ya.